Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great week for Christmas here. Got all the shopping done, bought some RP points for the bets y'all have lost during this regular season. But we have a pretty big Group B matchup here featuring Backdoor, Bandits, and Peanut Butter and Jelly, which I believe both teams are at their full lineup here. So this is going to be a great matchup so far, and can't wait to see what these teams end up doing. So we are going to move over the draft, which they got a start on. I do apologize for me kind of getting this up late. I'm not used to a series starting on time. Looking at you, Group C. But for the most part, we see a Hui, Orn, Nami ban, which three pretty staples in their role. We've seen Orn's priority rise last week, and he's looked really, really good on the teams that know how to pilot him and play around him. And then for backdoor bandits, we've got Skarner, Udyr, and Victor. Udyr definitely more of a target ban towards Darkhound, as I think he popped off on it the one or two times he's had a chance to play it. And then Skarner, Victor, Skarner, the premier jungler, still has a very big presence in the league. And then Victor has the most presence in our league, easily being the most busted abomination that Riot has released this split so far. So no Victor, no Skarner. So we'll see how these teams end up working out. We see a Corki first pick coming out, which Corki I still would consider pretty much a flex pick. Can go mid, can go bot. Kind of does it all. Just decent early, but still scales really, really well into squishy team comps. And then we see Backdoor Bandits respond with the Vi Sivir. Sivir, another champion that has been rising up in priority. We've seen her picked quite a bit in week 3 and probably continues that trend in week 4. Vi, while not showing the most amount of success, is still a high prioritized jungler. Hasn't doesn't have the win rate, and I think some teams and some guys that you've talked to around the league think Vi's more of a counter pick champion, but we still see some teams blind picking it. So maybe it's just comfort, or maybe it's just response to other champions in the meta. Like I can see Vi doing pretty well in the Corki. We see Gwen coming out here. Gwen being a flex pick as well. I believe Darkhound is one of the junglers that has no issues playing Gwen in the jungle. I've seen other junglers like Frozen Ace also pull her out, and I think there's one or two more. So Gwen giving you a nice AP threat, but still very flexible in where she can go. And then you see Karma coming out here. Karma's not really has the biggest pick or presence in the league so far, but we've seen some supports don't mind pulling her out. I still argue that Karma's a pretty decent mid laner as well, so there's a chance that we could see Karma getting flexed to mid potentially. I think Karma could also be a touch of a deny pick, as Corki and Gwen still enjoy enchanters around them. But we see PBnJ now banning the Galio, while Backdoor responds with Maokai Cassante. Cassante's kind of the other de facto tank in the top lane. I think Orange kind of challenged him for that number 1 spot, but Cassante, this champion's just useful, especially with the players that know how to pilot him. And then Maokai actually raising in some popularity in top lane as well, but we still see him play support. Maokai jungle hasn't been played too much this split, but I imagine that's still on everybody's radar. And then you see Mbessa. Mbessa fell off the priority quite heavily last week, so kind of shocking to see the Mbessa ban come out. But yeah, never know. Maybe somebody's been practicing it solo queue and they scouted that. So you see a Garen coming out. Garen, Oh man, Garen. Demacia Justice will start raining down here. We've seen Emperorish pull out Garen mid in the very last game that Backdoor Bandits played this past week into Sad Jellyfish, where he had a really solid game against Salt by Default's Vagar. So we know Emperorish really likes this pick and has really good opportunities to pull it out. And then we've seen PBnJ coming out with a Vex and a Gnar. So Vex, an interesting pick. I'm not a fan of Vex in general. I don't. I don't think the champ does anything better than anybody else. I mean, she has a little bit of roam potential, which is nice, but she doesn't do as much damage as, say, like a Syndra or even an Orianna. She doesn't have the wave clear of Hui, Victor, stuff like that, which, granted, those are on the ban list. But overall, in order for the champ to do something, she has to forfeit something else in her kit. If she has to wave clear, then she forfeits her one tool that can lock people down. And if she doesn't wave clear, then she has to all in. So it's kind of pick your poison with the Vex. And Gnar, I think Gnar's a pretty solid pick. With the Garen showing, Garen can still go top or still go mid. So I think Gnar is a pretty decent champion. But I don't know if the Gnar makes sense with what Backdoor is showing. They're definitely showing more of a responsive type of comp to where Gnar likes champions diving into him, but I think at this level Gnar gets like his gimmick as far as the rage bar and transforming can get played around pretty easily. We just had Brandino and GeoProw on our latest episode of Midwest Weekly, which will come out later tonight, and Brandino noted that Gnar is just very easy to play around. So it's a champion that you have to have a lot of time in to get the full effectiveness out of the kit. So, and then we see Kennen coming out by Backdoor Bandits. Kennen being kind of a legacy counter to Gnar. He can poke down Gnar quite heavily. Gnar has a hard time dodging the Qs. And when Gnar wants to go forward, Kennen just stuns him when he lands. So it kind of delays the ultimate and the stun that follows when Gnar jumps in. But also, I think it's a like engagey type of comps, which it looks like the Vex kind of wants to play that way. Kennen's actually really good at like helping champions stand their ground, but also Kennen with like Karma speed up, Sivir speed up, can make the first move as well. So it'll be interesting. I don't think they're two of the most cohesive comps we've seen in the league, but they do have tools to make things happen on the map. We'll just see which team kind of gets ahead and how they want to play from ahead. So this will be a really interesting game overall here. And while we are waiting for the client side draft, we can kind of pull up the standings here to start off week 4. So let me get those up for everybody. Standings, here we go. So for Group A, we have Coinflip leading the group, followed up by TK Gamers, as TK dropped a game to Coinflip. Then we see Scorch, Insane Banana Posse, Freebacks, Caster Curse. This 3-4 spot for the playoffs at Group A is going to be really interesting. And Caster Curse is technically, mathematically not eliminated from this, but they have a really strong opponent, TK Gamers, coming up. Freebrax has Coinflip, and Scorch has Insane Bananas. So this week 4 is going to tell a lot from all these teams in Group A. Group B, though, this I would probably consider to be the group of death. Like, you have Backdoor Bandits here up top the group. And, my apologies. I did not throw this up on the stream. So you guys kind of heard what I said about Group A here. So let's touch on Group B, which is where these two teams are played. So you have Backdoor Bandits at 3-0 here, looking to take control of the group. I believe if they win this, they lock up the 1 seed potentially. I'm curious on what their schedule is. So they have PBnJ here, and they have Small Brain No Mechanics actually. So they still do not lock up the number 1 seed here. If Small Brains wins, then the Week 5 matchup will be for the number 1 seed. But we see PB&J tied with Sad Jellyfish at 1-2 here. So if PB&J can snap off a win here tonight, they make this Group B playoff race much more interesting. And I think Sad Jellyfish actually have Load the Cannons this week, which is another pivotal matchup. Just to go into this week a little bit, I probably should have brought this up earlier, but Week 4 spans across 2 calendar weeks just to compensate for the holidays, as we have Christmas and New Year's on Wednesdays this year. So, all in all, we will be coming at you with some Week 4 action. We're going to try and get all of these games streamed for you, but with the holiday travels, we know teams are struggling to get games scheduled. And in note, the casters are going to be kind of everywhere as well. So, we're going to do our best to get every game casted over. And if not, we'll have some probably downtime after New Year's ends to get these replays brought out. I know we're going to have to be swift with some of the earlier games getting the replays out and casted over because once the new season patch drops January 1st, all of the replays will be deleted. So, but yeah, just kind of going back to what we were talking about. Group B has a lot of stuff yet to be played out here. As I think the only real team eliminated from playoffs for Group B is Icewall. But yeah, if PB&J can come out with this win here, then this really kind of flips this group upside down, and we get to really see what happens and what plays out. For Group C, though, we have 4 teams at 2-1, as these teams have basically just beat the hell out of each other. For those that were with us last week, we see TK Benchers yesterday. No, sorry, 2 days ago. This was on a Saturday. Absolutely gave Team Ghost everything. They were firing on all cylinders and beat Team Ghost pretty soundly to get the first seed in this group. But again, there's a lot of games still yet to be played in this Group C. T1 Tempest, I think, is mathematically out of it. But we see here for Week 4 that we have Instinct still has a very challenging game against T1 Tempest, even though T1 has not won a series. They still looked very respectable. And then you have Cal Poly and TK Benchers and Dyslexic against Team Ghost here. So Week 4 is going to be just as important as the previous weeks in regards to where Group C standings are. So yeah, that's what we got so far here. And we are now loading into the game here. So let me move some of the scenes around and pull the chat up just in case. And I will pause our background music, as I think this kind of adds a little bit to it. And here we go with Group B action between Backdoor Bandits, who are going to be on the red side, and PB&J, who are going to be on the blue side here.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
Alright, we are in game. My apologies, I had to send a text real fast, so. Okay, that's annoying. But we see Empress kind of face checking right here, getting over a touch of first strike gold to this Vex. But honestly, Garen can return damage level 1 and be perfectly fine just because of his passive, so. We're going to zoom out just a touch here, because I just want to get a little more viewpoint on everything here. So, yeah, we see this Garen passive's already got him about another 50 to 75 HP here. But good on Kipo to auto him, just so the Garen passive falls off. But, you know, Kipo being at about 60% health doesn't help this lane at all here. I think Garen can kind of start to push Vex back already. Even then, Garen's got D-Shield, so these autos were still healing Garen quite a bit. It's time for the Kipo Canyon? I hope so. I mean, I'm not... I've voiced my opinions on Vex. I don't think Vex is the greatest champion, but, you know, if you can make it work, all the more power to you. We see the bot lane get an early push here on the side of Backdoor Bandits to get the level 2 and push his Corki in a little bit. I actually think the Sivir pick, now that I think about it a little more, is probably really decent in the Corki. Anytime he goes up to Q poke, or even post level 6 gets a rocket poke in, Sivir just spell shields it, and his cooldowns are long enough that Sivir can move away. So, we see Kipo kind of autoing down this Garen a little bit. Got this Garen below 50% health. We see a big trade in the bot lane that kind of goes in favor of Backdoor. But Backdoor just doing what they can to just hyper push this this bot lane in here. We already see Empress getting a decent CS lead coming out of mid lane here, as he's got the wave a little bit frozen on his side. We see Darkhound looks like he's trying to get a little bit of a ward in here to spot out SCYX. We see Kipo doing pretty well as far as first strike. Every time it's up, trying to trade with this Garen, get a little extra gold on it. See a really good move up here by Karma to kind of force the Guardian and the Valkyrie out. Garen shield just tanked all of that Vex damage already. All in all, Garen's up about 11 CS here. See, just a small little 200 gold lead coming out here for the side of Backdoor Bandits to his laning phase. Let's see where this first blood could happen. I definitely think the junglers are going to be involved, because these lanes are okay with being pretty passive. Yeah, Yeah, War. I kind of caught that there when it was a little too late. So either way, I hope Group A becomes interesting. I hope we can make it interesting. So it's just funny how there is a world where Group A could have the fourth seed with one win if the cards fall right. I don't wish that on anybody. I hope all the teams play their best, and wherever it falls, it falls. But it would be interesting if we can get another shot at free bracks again in, say, a tiebreaker situation. See, Darkhound kind of starting up these Void Grubs here. Get pushed off quickly. He ended up getting the first one, which is a boost in experience. But we see Kipo coming in here with this Vex ult. Nice ult away here by Gnar, but I don't think it's going to be enough here as Garen just rains his Demacian Justice on this Ancient Yordle. But you got the rest of the Backdoor Bandits team chasing down PBnJ here. Oh, and a big return damage here from Vex that almost takes out Kennen. Kennen must have been, yeah, definitely below 10 HP. So, all in all, we see the first blood going over to Garen, which I think is massive here. He's already got a decent lead from the laning phase here, and this first blood's just going to accelerate him more. You see here after Backdoor Bandits ended up getting this first Drake, which I actually think is a massive Drake for them, having the a little more of an offensive comp with Kennen and Garen here. That they're starting to open up a small little lead, as we still see Emperor's just kind of having his way with his mid lane here. Jesus, Garen wave clear is insane. Actually surprised with AP mid, AP jungler that Garen did go Merc Treads, but I think he still wants to be able to roam and catch up to people. Yo, where's that one caster? I don't know. I asked anybody if they wanted to hop on, and it seemed like no one wanted to hop in on this Monday night. The only reason I hopped in is because I have this week off due to the holidays. I took vacation time. So, I'm going to grind solo queue, hate my life, and hopefully be satisfied with going on PBE and trying the new season changes. But, yeah, Pugsley, feel free to hop in on this game too if you want. This is a pretty massive series. We see Darkhound getting a really good gank up here in the top side. You see Aerosep try to do his best to turn it, but the rest of his team's here, so we'll see. This Gnar doesn't have the mega form now, so this is pretty easy for SCYX to respond up here with the Vi and pick up that kill. A lot of gold going over to Kepo from this first strike here. And then we see Backdoor Bandits now starting up these Void Grubs here, which I think is going to be pretty massive. I think it's early enough that they'll probably get at least a plate, maybe 2 across the map with these grubs, and having 4 spawning the Void lanes. They don't have the greatest amount of wave clear or push, so these 4 Void Grubs I think are pretty massive for their team comp, especially in late game team fights here. So we'll see what they want to do. I know this Chemtech, no, I'm sorry, not the Chemtech. This Hextech Drake is massive for both sides. But we see Corky trying to space out this Sivir a little bit, so we'll see if Backdoor Bandits want to try and fight this dragon, or if they're gonna just let it go, knowing that they've got, for the most part, the scaling advantage. And we see SCYX kind of posturing for a steal here. We see Vi going in, Flash ulting onto Corky, but ends up getting shut down here as Vex ult in. But then we see the Garen absolute man-moding all over this PBnJ squad, and Red Side ends up getting this dragon here off a really massive response team fight. Between the Sivir boomerangs going in and bouncing all around, and then Garen spin the win. Like, there was a boatload of AoE damage coming out of this Backdoor Bandits comp, and now they end up taking what looks to be, yeah, it's about a 3,000 gold lead here in this second dragon. But we see a, I'll quit flipping around. It's going to end up being a Chemtech Soul here. So Chemtech Soul, not the greatest soul for both teams, but I think it definitely values the side of Backdoor Bandits a touch more. As a Garen passive healing inside lanes, you have healing and shielding coming out from Karma. Get amplified here, but we see the Corky starting to push around this bot lane a little bit here after the Sheen pickup. I do like the armor boots coming out of this Corky. Just Garen things.
Turret plating will fall soon. Bring it down.
And here's Garen coming in here off an invade. It looks like Garen's going to take down Darkhound eventually here. I know they let the kill go over to SCYX, but you see PBnJ kind of trying to jump on this invade here. Kennen ends up returning fire over to the Vex, and then you see a ult coming in by Vi to take down Vex. And then the cleanup crew ends up getting Braum at the end of it. So that is 3 for none for the side of Backdoor Bandits here. As their team comp just looks like it's already online. It's already doing exactly what it wants to do. And this might be the best Vi performance we've seen all split here. Like, this Vi just looks really good right now. All the answers that PBnJ have that they have built into their comp for this Garen, for this Vi, they're the ones that are behind here. And I really just kind of question this Vex pick. Honestly, I don't know if Kepo got pushed out or if this is a champion that he really gravitates towards here, but it feels like this Vex pick is is not having a great time in this game and really doesn't have that many targets to go after now, being this far behind. They don't need the back door. No, they're plowing through this front door right now. And then here's a big gank onto on the Gray and Prey here. And we see them trying to stop Garen from invading here, but it's just nothing they can do. I'm kind of curious how much first strike that he's gotten off here. He's got a respectable amount of gold. I know first strike is more of a late game rune when it comes to the damage and the gold, but yeah, he's got a boots pot worth of gold already here at the 16-minute mark. Is fairly respectable. Well, welcome back, War. Not gonna ask the context behind that. We're just gonna leave that one there. But this is the second time we've seen Empress play this Garen here in the mid lane. This might be something that warrants a ban, or other teams are gonna have to just keep an eye out on. And I'm actually curious if Ariceps plays this Garen, if this ends up being a little bit of a flex pick here. We see PBnJ sending their bot lane up top, so they're trying to get a little bit of this comeback gold as a trade for this third dragon. So that ends up putting Backdoor Bandits on the soul point here, and I think this is a respectable trade. You know you can't walk into Garen Sivir right now, so getting the comeback gold on the turret. But after all that, they invested so much into topside that off this dragon, Sivir and Vi end up getting this mid lane tier 2. We see Gnar go on bot lane. We see Darkhound trying to pop the ghost and get on top of Sivir, but she ends up spell shielding that Q there coming out by Gwen. So here at about the 18-minute mark, it's roughly a 6,500 gold lead for the side of Backdoor Bandits, as it's 2 kills to 10 favoring Backdoor, and they are on soul point. They've got the first 3 dragons here. We see Vi charging up, coming in here, and ulting the Quirky here, but she might have went in a little too deep as they're outnumbered right now. So a rare missed opportunity there on the side of Backdoor Bandits. They tried their best to turn it. I think Vi just thought she could blow up the Quirky quite heavily, but Braum giving over the armor there makes it hard. And we see a Flash Fear coming in by Kipo. We'll see if this ends up creating any type of opportunities, but we see the Sivir ends up flashing forward, as this is something we've seen before with Navis on this Sivir, flashing into people's faces to get this triple kill now. She flashed into the base last week to end up picking a clutch double kill to seal up the game for her team, so she's got no issues flashing forward and seeing the opportunities here. But we see her now accidentally clicking on this Rift Herald. It's okay. with that being said, we see Garen in the top side of the map pushing this wave and getting that tier 2, and now they're looking to chop down this tier 3 in the top lane. And this is already pretty out of hand for the side of PBnJ, so let's see if they can potentially capitalize on like a botched engage or something. We've seen SCYX pull the trigger there in the mid lane and get pushed back, so we'll see what happens here. We see Chemtech Drake coming up here. This will be Chemtech Soul coming out for the side of Backdoor Bandits here.
Do that. Focus.
So let's see how this setup goes here for this dragon fight. As it looks like there's still a ward in the dragon pit just placed by PBnJ, so maybe that could be a decent flank here if we see Gnar playing the rage bar well and TPing in, getting a really good ult. But we also see that Emperorish is also holding his TP as well, so it's gonna be very curious to see what ends up happening off this dragon fight. There's still a ward here in this pit for PBnJ here, so I think it's a really good flank ward, but they all have very little vision just to enter this dragon pit here, so. But all in all, we see SCYX starting up this dragon here. And Mega Gnar just came down for prey, so I don't think the TP is going to be the greatest here. Now you see Arusep's coming over. But here now you see Demacia coming over, but he ends up ulting Braum-E. So Braum-E blocked all of that damage. And we see SCYX gets the soul point here for the Backdoor Bandit squad. You don't have a turret to run to, Darkhound, so I don't. You might see a Demacia come down here, but we see SCYX charging in there and getting pushed back again. So SCYX trying to limit test here a little bit with this Vi. But they use that to create an opportunity here to rush down this Baron. Baron's at about 50%, and it seems like nobody has a clue on the side of PBnJ. But we see Emperorish TPing in to protect his Kennen there. Awfully nice of your mid laner to come in and protect the top laner there. And I think this is where Backdoor Bandits' comp is going to fire on all cylinders, because the one thing it's not that they lack, but they lacked it from multiple directions, to where, like, if you have Sivir plus a mage, you can push in 2 lanes pretty quickly. Here with Garen, the Garen push is easily answered by anybody on the side of PBnJ, but now Garen plus Baron minions on this push, that's going to make it a lot more difficult to deal with. And also we'll probably see these 4 grubs come into play very, very heavily here as well, so. A lot of the early game advantages that we see Backdoor Bandits get in the form of Dragon Soul, 4 Grubs, is translated now into Barons, and Push. So, yeah, there's nothing stopping this Garen push now. Vex has a really hard time pushing out Baron minions. Oh, I see YX pulling the trigger on Darkhound. Well, not committing the ult here, but definitely pulled the trigger getting into the base. And chunks out Darkhound a little bit. But we see Mega Gnar came up during that time, which is now getting ready to fall out. So they won't even have Mega Gnar for this last team fight here. We see Emperorish having to flash away there, but I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cannon minions with Baron buff firing down on these turrets. But then you see a big engage as PBnJ pulled the trigger, but nice counter pull of the trigger here by Aroseps and the side of Backdoor Bandits, and they end up winning that team fight and sealing up this victory here as they win game 1. What a very, very strategic game played by Backdoor Bandits. Is very, very impressive here. So, seems like these teams want to get into game 2 quite quickly, so we won't even have time to go over the in-game lobby here. But actually, you know, while we're waiting, I do have a couple of these guys on the friends list, so not that I want to show off your match history, but we will go into the overview and look at this, as this was pretty much from the word go controlled by Backdoor Bandits here, and a very, very impressive game overall. See, Sivir did the most damage. That triple kill just kind of unleashed her on the rest of the map. So, while we are waiting for Game 2's draft to get started up, if I'll throw this out there to the chat. Is there anything from the new season that anybody is like super excited to see? I know myself being a big mage player in the mid lane, the mage item that works like Black Cleaver, where it carves off some of the MR, I think is super exciting. I'm very curious to see if anybody remembers when the mythic items started coming out. The original intent for Leandries was to carve off MR, and then they ended up changing it into what it ended up being. So I'm super I'm super excited to see that. I think there's a lot of champions that can use it quite well, and surprising champions that will go for it over stuff like Void Staff. So I'm really excited to see how that ends up going here. But we have new jungle monsters, we have teleport changes, we have I believe there was something with the minion changes. I don't quite remember the exact details on that. So And here we are into game 2 of this draft here between PBnJ and Backdoor. As we see, they did swap sides here, so we'll see what PB&J have in store here. I definitely think if they don't have an answer to it, the Garen should probably get banned. If not first phase, definitely the second phase. And we see that they prioritized the Hui or Nami in the first round of the bans. Which, we see the Ornn coming out. We see the Udyr, the Respect Udyr coming out, banning it away from Darkhound. And then again, we see the Hui getting taken away from Emperorish. And then Victor coming out here, as I know Kipo definitely enjoys playing the Victor. He, I think, was the only one that played the Victor prior to the VGU and buffs in week 2. So Kipo definitely doesn't mind playing that champion at all. And then instead of the Nami ban, yeah, we see Garen coming out here. So Emperorish getting himself a Garen ban here. We see Backdoor hovering this Vi pick here. We'll see if SCYX wants to run this one back, or if he's got something else up his sleeve. Nope, we got the Vi pick here. Alright. So let's see what PB&J has in response here. I know there's a couple of junglers that do well into Vi. Stuff like Warwick, stuff like Poppy, Ivern to some degree, like is able to shield people and prevent Vi from doing a lot of what she wants to do. But PB&J ends up taking away the Sivir and then a Volley Bear. This is interesting. I have to go back. Do I have the... I do have the picks up. Let me see. This might be our first Volley Bear of the split so far here. Yeah, this is our first picked Volley Bear of the split. It's been banned 4 times, but not picked. And then Backdoor ends up coming out with the Twitch pick. This is our first Twitch of the split, if I remember correct. Yeah, Twitch has not shown up on pick band or anything here, so we have some new picks coming out. You have the Twitch and the Volibear making their first appearance of the split here. We see the Lulu coming out. Sivir does like enchanters quite a bit here, and I think the Lulu does very well. So especially when Vi ults somebody and they land, instead of Vi charging up the Q, Lulu just times the ult and can stop the Vi charge up and kind of render her a little useless. Why is the name banned peanut butter? I don't know. That I do not know. I've had a couple cast on Twitch here recently. I prefer the YouTube platform. I think it takes a little less power to run it on YouTube. And if I have to stream to somebody in the Discord room, it doesn't lag out. Kind of what we found out, I think week 2 when I was streaming at the Pugsley and he was casting the first one with me on Twitch. That happened. So, but yeah, no, I have the capability of doing Twitch, YouTube, whatever's needed here. I'm a man of the people. We see 4 top lane bans end up coming out here in this second ban phase. So we're definitely going to see some new champs showing up in the top lane, and there's a chance that Volibear even shows up top as well. And we see the Ahri coming out here for PB&J. So Kipo on this Ahri here is let's see what Backdoor has a pick for it. Ahri tends to not have fun into like some burst mages. Syndra comes to mind. Zoe to some degree, Lux to some degree. If you can hit him with the CC and set up your burst, then Ari's really good. But wait a sec, we see a Rek'Sai coming out from Backdoor. So is this a solo lane Vi? Hold on here. Solo lane Rek'Sai or Vi? We know SCYX plays a really, really mean Rek'Sai. It's probably the only person that's actually played Rek'Sai this split. And then a Rumble coming out here. Okay, so I'm assuming this is going to be Rumble mid, which would be the first Rumble mid of the split. All the plays for Rumble have been in the top lane. But I'm curious to see which one goes top here. Yeah, Victor, this is a spicy draft. And that's super spicy coming from you because you like to spice it up yourself. So I'm really excited to see which one's going top lane here. Oh, okay. There's I think the winner for this draft here. Darius into either Vi or Rek'Sai sounds like a fantastic answer. I think Vi has a little better time just because she can poke a little bit more with the E. But Rek'Sai also can jump out and heal up here, so this Darius I think was a clutch R5 pick coming out of PBnJ. And in my opinion, I think this actually kind of won the draft a little bit. I mean, you have 3 melees with Rek'Sai, Vi, and Rumble coming into a Darius. You don't want to be that close to Darius, especially when he's the one pulling you in. Rek'Sai can't top anymore. They gutted the Fury from the minions. Okay, well, fair. I'm not a top lane guy, so I will definitely defer to you on that one there, Victor. I know she definitely was played, and most people were calling her broken top lane. So if they gutted that, then good, get it out. Now, can they gut a few other champions while they're at it? And we do end up seeing that. Wait a sec, Rumble top. Hold on, let me go over to client side here. I gotta switch scenes. We're seeing that this is a Rumble top here. So Vi mid coming out of Emperorish into this Ahri. What? Or is this some low-key Nami? Okay, this is not Nami mid. Alright, I was getting way ahead of myself on that one. That would have been spicy. But Vi mid coming out of Emperorish into Ahri. I've played against some Vi mids as not Ahri, but a couple of different mages. Vi's level like 1 through 4 absolutely effing hurt. Like absolutely, like it's an assassin on damage of how much Vi E can poke you down, and then she just Qs in, ignites you, and especially with stuff like not press the attack, Halo Blades, just burst a mage champion. Vi has the highest base HP region in the game. Victor, it would not surprise me you know that stat, and I very much appreciate it, because that is something not a lot of people would know. So, Vi having a really good HP region stat, I think she would probably take second Wind Shield here, unless she just wants to take Longsword, refill, and first back Dirk, and then just all in this Ahri. But I don't know, like, I'm thinking of this as the Ahri side, because I've played, obviously, Ahri way more than Vi. I don't know if I'm 100% scared of Vi, because even if she gets ahead of the minion wave, the charm stops the Q. So, I'm kind of really curious to see how Emperorish plays this. I'm also curious to see what the build's going to be as well. Flame played Rek'Sai. What's the split? All right, cool. Yeah, Flame Dog would probably be the other one I would expect to play it. Yeah, I know SCYX has gravitated towards this Rek'Sai quite a bit, but yeah, Flame Dog has a unique champion pool. Wow, I really like, not to sidetrack this a little bit. Flame Dog. Yeah, Victor. Of course, it's Flame Dog. Flame Dog is one of the most entertaining junglers I have a pleasure to watch. Like, I loved watching him last split. I love watching him this split. Like, the highest of praise I can give to the Flame Dog. He has his own champion pool. He doesn't really care about the meta. He's played the Ambessa jungle, and just the dude is creative and plays it really, really well. Nobody, nobody will forget the series he had against Sad Jellyfish last split, where he brought out the River Shen. Like that was an absolute madman of a performance there. So he plays it when he doesn't trust his team. Okay. Well, yeah, the Yumi funnel too. We can't forget about that, Victor Apple. And Same Banana as a team has came up with some really cool stuff that I was excited to sub against, and I'm super excited for the Week 5 matchup that my team has into Insane Banana. Kumi? Kumi. Alright. I love that name. Kane Yumi. Have fun. Yeah, I will have fun. I will. A lot of those guys on the Same Bananas are super spot on dudes. I know Crackler. I found out Crackler does not reside too far from me, so we might have a dinner bet on that Week 5 matchup. So we'll see what happens. And I'm also excited to play against War in the mid lane. So, but enough about that. Let's. Wow, where do we start with this one? I just this one's gonna be super entertaining. I like the Vi ult in the Ari, but I think the rest of Ari's kit really helps her out in the mid lane quite a bit. Uh, Ghost Tiger 40, I believe was the his brother's name, the Talia player, if I remember. Yeah, Ghost was unavailable for this. Well, that's sad because I thought Ghost played really well last split too. So, well, since we got Victor and War here, how do you think and some of the other guys, how do you think this game's gonna go? I mean, it is a pretty spicy draft, and you two do like to spice it up. What do we think? Do we think PBnJ is gonna turn this one around, or do we think Backdoor with some of the spice is gonna pull it off? Yeah, I uh I think this Darius was an insane R5 pick. Looking at you guys over in the chat, that if this Darius gets ahead, this game could be make or break by him. I do like Twitch Nami's ability to kind of stay away from Darius, but it's also like Darius with Ghost here. So we'll see how far they can run. I gotta get rid of time
Welcome
controls. My
to
apologies.
Summoner's Rift.
But we'll see how this ends up working out. We see a invade getting postured
30
up
seconds until minions
here
spawn.
by PB and J. We see Twitch in this tri-brush, so we'll see what ends up happening. Oh, and we see Kipo starting off with Charm level 1 to force the flash out of Nevis. Alright, War. You have a good one, man. Hopefully the holidays are good to you, brother.
Minions have spawned.
Let's see if Darkhound can kind of punish this flashless Twitch right here. So I know Twitch definitely likes to hold on to his summoners quite a bit in lane. I think if you don't put pressure on Twitch, then he can farm, but most bot lanes know to pressure him early. Interesting Q start by Darkhound here. Maybe he was hoping to catch somebody out in that invade. And we see a level 1 fight coming out from the bot lanes here. We see a clutch heal coming out by Nami along with the W as Nevis ends up tanking that turret shot. Level 1. So we see Jello get chunked quite a bit here. So we'll see how this ends up going. I'm going to kind of zoom out here. We see and we see an early turret shot get taken out by Emperish, but kind of what I mentioned before, we see Darkhound coming down with against his Twitch with no flash here, and first blood going over to Jello, and a double kill going over to the Sivir here. So kind of what we hinted at, where you force Twitch flash out level 1, and that charm start by Ahri now translates into a double kill in the bot lane. So we see this this Vi mid here took a little bit of a trade. I know got charmed into the turret shot, so we'll see how this ends up going. I do like the D shield start, and I assume it's D shield second wind here. It is not. It's mana flow transcendence. Okay, interesting. There's a charm coming out by Ahri here. Oh, and it ends up being a solo kill for Keppo, so this early game starting off really good for PBnJ. But then we see Backdoor Bandits, SCYX, making a gank up here on the top side here. See if they can get one back on Darius, because we mentioned if Darius gets ahead, he can really run this game over. Big EQ heal. And then flashing away, but then we see Aruseps coming out. But now here comes the bear. We see SCYX knocking up Darkhound here. So really well played by Darius here to escape that 2v1 gank. Oh, and another big chunk coming out of Kipo here. So, but we see SCYX trying to posture for another. Nope. I think he might have thought Darius was gonna try and stay, so wanted to counter gank it, but Darius ends up back, and Darkhound does a really good job pushing the wave in to help set that up for his top laner. We see a blasting wand early coming out of Ahri here. She TP's back to mid lane, so really good start coming out of PBnJ here. And we see SCYX doesn't know he's on a ward, and Kipo is shadowing his jungler here. But we see a charm and everything else coming out. And there's another gank by a successful gank by Darkhound here to pick up the kill on Emperish. So Emperish with his Vi mid gets an early 0-2 start. So really massive early game coming out of this PBnJ squad. At the 5-minute mark, they're up 2,000 gold, which is insane here. And they're getting this first Drake. This first Drake is absolutely massive for them. The fact that they can get Ocean Soul on the team comp that needs to accelerate this early game, and overall has the better comp, in my opinion, is absolutely insane. If Prey ends up getting poked out here by this Rumble, this Ocean Drake helps stabilizes him a little bit. If Twitch ends up getting a good trade onto Sivir, helps stabilize the bot lane, and also taking this Ocean Drake away from Vi mid, I think is also pretty massive here. Ari's friendship with Vi ended. Volibear is a best friend now. Yeah. Yep. But this is a different Vi. This is Arcane Vi. She's by herself here. No enforcers around. No pit fighters to help. This Vi is all by herself. And with these two deaths here in the mid lane, we've seen that a plate got taken there just very quickly, and Jello ends up taking a plate in the bot side here. So even the plates are going in favor of PBnJ here, because that gets them to almost a 3,000 gold lead. You see Darkhound ends up taking these grubs as well. So this early game could not have went any better for PBnJ, and hopefully they can keep the pressure on here. I'm curious to see what Vi is building. Does glowing emote go into a lethality item? We see Ariceps pushing up a little bit with Darkhound on that side of the map. We'll see if there's a potential return gank here, especially if they know that Flash is still not up yet on this Rumble. Probably wouldn't be Assassin Vi. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just think if you're playing Vi in the solo lane, you either go Assassin or you just pick something else. But we see a Flash stun coming out of Darkhound, and then Kipo ends up chasing the Flash with the Ahri ult here. So that's 2 kills onto Ahri as she's getting super accelerated to her Malignance. But we see Darkhound coming down here, and Jello ends up popping the ult, and Nevis just ends up leaving her support to just fall there by the wayside. So Darkhound putting his stamp on this game early. Oh, we see a ghost coming out here by Gray. We'll see what ends up happening here as he ends up getting the... Oh, but nice flash by Ariceps to miss the outer portion of the Darius Q. And even though SCYX came in with a Q to get that kill, that turret would have ended up taking down Darius on the way out. So, well played by Ariceps to get that counter kill. Oh, we see an all-in coming in by Empress after Ahri ends up burning the charm. But we see now a 2v2 and a 3v2 as the support roams up here for the side of PBnJ. So we see Ahri kind of baiting his team there into a 2v2. Like, that was a very interesting decision. Yeah, you just, at this point, you just have to expect this bear to be everywhere. God, this difference in items in the mid lane is going to be massive. I assume that's going to be Malignance done for Kepo. Yeah, it's Malignance done. Oh man, this Ahri is going to be unleashed now. Yeah, this is a 2,600 gold lead here. I mean, they have enough lockdown that if someone, if they want to, well, hold on, let me finish this thought here. We've seen Nevis ends up showing up here to stop this dragon fight, but ends up getting one in return here. And then SCYX tries to show up mid and help Empress get Keppo. But Keppo ends up turning that around and gets another kill here. So this Ari's now 4-0. Yeah, this lead is just getting worse and worse for the side of Backdoor Bandits here. Yeah, this is going to be really difficult for Backdoor to come out. I do like their lockdown, like Vi ult into Rumble Twitch free firing. Like, I think they can get some of these shutdowns back, but overall it might just be too late, because once Darkhound and Darius get ahead and get tanky, it's going to be hard. But we see SCYX starting up these grubs here and having to escape, as Darkhound was already spotting this, but now he ends up chasing them into the opposing base. So we see it ends up being a solo kill on the Chenwu here. Chenwu's Lulu. Oh, nice charm coming out of Kipo there. And this is the game PBnJ needed. I mean, knowing that this is the top team in your group, undefeated, and you had a really suspect draft that didn't pay off in game 1. To start off game 2 this strong, you've almost got a 4,000 gold lead at the 12-minute mark. It's an absolute. It's almost a turnaround for like your season there. Yeah, this game is a statement by PBnJ.
Turbo shock rockets.
But it's not over yet. We'll see. I do love the fact that they're prioritizing these dragon sackings. Like, they got to make sure they keep the pace and the tempo on this game up high. They can't let Backdoor Bandits get comfortable being behind and just farming here. They still have a Twitch. Like, they still have a late game kind of carry. But if they keep playing this quickly, this Twitch will never ever be around the map enough to be involved in these fights. Yeah. Yeah, if it actually wasn't for the 2 kills, this would be basically a perfect game. We see Darius ends up all-inning, and Rumble ends up flashing in as well. The Rumble ult's not the greatest here, but it ends up taking down Darius enough that SCYX's Rek'Sai comes in and finishes the job here. So I don't think that was that was not a shutdown. But we see Sivir and Volibear and Lulu pushing to get this bot turret down, and that ends up being first turret down, I believe, before the plates ended up falling. So big on them to get that. We see another charm coming out here. Keppo is not missing any of these charms here. We do see with Darkhound being bot side. What the hell? He's just going in between these turrets here? Darkhound. Pathing, my dude. That was a little sus here. Alright, Victor Apple, bro. I appreciate you coming in and watching this. And we see a turn end up happening for Backdoor Bandits, and here's SCYX. Lulu ult comes out to try and help this Sivir, but she ends up falling here as Backdoor Bandits are now fighting back here in this game as they end up taking down 3 for the price of 2. And all of these shutdowns end up going over to their carries here. We see SCYX picking up 1. We see Twitch picking up 1. What an insane turnaround. It all kind of started with Darkhound going in between the turrets. I don't know if it was a pathing mistake, if he lagged out, what happened there. But that ended up starting the trend of, you know, a misnumbered fight there that Backdoor ended up taking off. So, all in all, this is still now down to about a 2,200 gold lead. Still in favor of PBnJ, but you see Backdoor Bandits getting a lot of this shut down and pushing back. You see the first item coming out now for Rumble. SCYX is halfway done with his second item here. Twitch on Collector plus Boots now. See what Twitch builds next. I'm kind of curious to see. I haven't seen Twitch in a while, so I don't know what she ends up building here. So, let's see. Our next fight will most likely be over this dragon, as it just spawned about a minute ago.
Pierce the sky and punch the stars.
We see PBnJ, even though they lost that team fight there and gave some gold over back, they end up getting this this third Drake, which is going to be an Infernal Soul on the map now. Which I think this Infernal Soul is super massive to keep the snowball going here. We see SCYX ends up getting an invade on the red buff here while they were doing Dragon. So I love the like tunnel system that SCYX has been putting out on this Rek'Sai. I know they made it a little bit easier for Rek'Sai to put these tunnels down and made them a lot more accessible. But he definitely seems like he knows exactly what he wants to do out of this champ and how to get the most out of it. See a Rumble ult coming down to clear this wave, but Rumble's going to end up getting jumped on here by 4 people as Darkhound starts the push here. And we see Rumble burning the Seeker's arm guard here. Nami ends up ulting here, and you see Twitch chasing this Volley Bear down. But now we see Emperorish coming in here. We see Ahri TPing in the back here, so let's see how this fight ends up going. You see Vi getting down. Keppo ends up ulting into the backline, getting a decent charm on the Twitch. SCYX takes out the rest of Darkhound's health, but ends up falling down as well. Oh, and you see Nevis try to push this wave, but Keppo ends up ulting over this this wall here to make Twitch burn flash. So a 3-for-1 in favor of PBnJ, but this Backdoor Bandits still not afraid of pulling the trigger here on this game if they see the correct fight. And that ends up being tier 2 mid and tier 2 top going down again in favor of Backdoor Bandits. So they use this tempo to get this and stretch this gold lead back up to just a little under 5,000 gold here. I love the second item coming out by Kipo here, having the Shadow Flame, knowing that there's not really a dedicated tank on the side of Backdoor Bandits, so the spell pen is going to work wonders, especially when you press tab and you don't see any Merc Treads either. So Merc Treads do a really good job at canceling out a lot of the pen from a single pen item like Storm Surge or Shadow Flame. But we see Darkhound coming down here. Kipo has his ult up again. But we see a TP coming out from Volley Bear, and SCYX is here as well. It's going to end up being a 3v2 fight here. You got Twitch coming down as well. Darkhound ends up flashing away, but they're going to end up taking him down. Baron Nashor just spawned here. So let's see if this Backdoor Bandit team thinks they have enough tempo to go on to Baron. I don't see any pings coming towards it, so I think they're just going to take the team fight win and go with it. You see SCYX getting also some comeback gold here on this bottom turret now. So that now ends up turning this 5,000 gold lead into about a 3,000 now. So good TP coming out of Aruseps, good stalling by Emperorish. And right now, because of how scattered these fights have been in these side lanes, Darius hasn't really found a good window to impact these team fights like I thought he would. Being, really, really good against a majority of melees. We've seen what happened when he got ganked up top with the pullback into Q on 3 to get a massive amount of healing. But it just seems like he's been kind of resorted to the side lane. You see Aroseps is now on his second item, has a completely built Zhonya's here. So I'd be curious to see how they end up playing these fights afterwards. Nice shielding coming out from both the support and the top laner there. And we see a charm coming out as Aroseps kind of face checks that brush here. And Darkhound going after this Twitch. And they just end up singling out this Twitch and blowing up. He had a Emperorish coming from the back here, ulting Ahri, but flashes over this wall to make time, and then the rest of the team helps him out. And this is going to end up being a Soul Dragon taking over the side of Peanut Butter and Jelly. And I think that was Backdoor Bandits just not respecting if the Ahri was there or not. Let's see if SCYX has a chance of stealing this, maybe. Oh, and he does steal it! So SCYX doing his damnedest and gets out as well. What a play there. Queuing to get the vision, ulting in, and then stealing the dragon. I don't think it's game turning, but it at least stalls the team out. I'd say another 3 to 5 minutes here before they can posture for another fight on the soul point here. So big steal from SCYX and getting out alive as well. So let's take stock at where we at, as we got Baron on the table, but Infernal Drake's still not up for another 3.5 minutes. It's 10 kills to 21 in favor of PBnJ. They're up about 4,500 gold here, sitting on 3 Drakes, and it looks like they're trying to make a push over as they were trying to catch out this Twitch, but Vi ends up taking the charm in the face there to protect the Twitch, and that's 9 deaths coming out for Vi. This Vi pick is not working out at all. Really nice Zhonya's ult coming out, but we see Nevis to flash away here. But this Twitch ends up taking down Volley Bear, and SCYX takes out Keppo here. So really nice trade of carries here for the most part, and a nice response for Backdoor Bandits. It's being a 3 for 2 here overall. But we see Twitch does not have ult, still about 25% left on the cooldown. You see Emperorish TPing here to protect his bot lane. So really big back and forth fights. I know Backdoor Bandits is down a couple thousand gold and some dragon stats, but they're making the best of this. And if this Twitch has flash up, Darkhound has not found any successful jumps at all onto this Twitch. It also doesn't help that Vi and Rek'Sai are keeping this backline occupied, that Darkhound's only by himself going forward. I will say, I do love the Nami being able to peel, and I think it's overall a great pick, but this Imperial Mandate, I don't know if it's the greatest pick in the world. If you're so far behind and you have to play through Twitch, I think you have to build stuff like Ardent Sensor and Staff of Flowing Water just to help out this Twitch. But we see Vi face checking this blue buff area here, and ends up falling down. And this also gives Kipo time to ult forward and catch off Nevis in the Twitch. So I think this was the pick that this PBnJ squad needed to start up this Baron here. But Backdoor Bandits is doing a really good job trying to take the comeback gold on this mid turret. And that's what PB&J needed. They got this Baron push here. I will say that their comp uses Baron much better than Backdoor Bandits comp, just because Backdoor Bandits just doesn't have enough wave clear to clear out these Baron minions here, to where I think there's enough wave clear on the side of PB&J that if they were to drop a fight and get Baron pushed against them, Sivir and Ahri can push it back a lot easier than, you know, Vi, Twitch, and even Rumble. So, but we see Darkhound trying to take out some of these tunnels so he can't get the stolen again. And we see the support in the jungle get pincered here, but we see Jello fight here. But this is a fantastic Rumble ult in this choke point here. And we see Darius ends up now finally has a really big impact here as Darius takes out both the Twitch and the Rumble, and that ends up being a full team fight ace here. As it's 5 for none, and as noted in the chat, yeah, this was a big wallet difference here, because I don't think you could have asked for a better Rumble ult comped with like a Twitch ult here. And this might be the most deaths for one player in a game this split, as Emperorish on this Vi mid just ended up not working out. 0 and 11 here. So big comeback win for PB&J, big statement win. Had a couple team fights not necessarily go the way they planned, but they stood strong. They had enough wallet diff, and they did really well. So the series ends up being 1-1 now as we go to a decisive game 3 here. And then we take a look at the client here. Yeah, we had a bunch of damage coming out from Sivir and Ahri here. And then this Vi, only 7,000 damage through the whole game. Oh, let's back to the drawing board. I respect the cook and the thought here, but yeah, that's something here. Backdoor needs to take Sivir for themselves. Yeah, Sivir now has another win this week, and took the win in game 1 as Backdoor stole the Sivir. So Sivir 2-0 this week already. And Sivir has been rising in popularity across this whole split so far. So we noted that in our stats show that we posted out, and we were very curious to see if this was going to keep going forward here. So we just got the spectate up. Let me switch scenes here real fast, and just to kind of review the games 1 draft here and game 2 draft here. So, all in all, I really did like the Twitch Nami. I liked the Rumble. I liked everything about Backdoor's comp outside of this Vi. This Vi got punished really early and really hard. Which was weird to just see the flex pick Vi when you have a couple of other mages up, like Syndra, like Orianna, stuff like that. Even seen the Corki is up, so let's go over here to our 3rd game draft here, as we see these bans not changing much, so they're kind of quick fire bans here. As Peanut Butter gets rid of the Oran, Hui, and Garen, the same three bans that they had last game. And we see Backdoor ends up banning Skarner, Udyr, and then they were not happy with Kipo on that Ahri. So Ahri, bye-bye. We do see Victor is up. For the first time this series, Victor is up. Sivir ends up being the power pick that Peanut Butter wants to take. Let's see if Backdoor realizes that Victor's up. Because, I mean, Victor is a stabilizing agent to get Jinx to late game here. And Jinx Milio, so now you have a chance of getting both Sivir and Victor over to the side of Peanut Butter. Oh, let's see. Could they be baiting it? Because I know Syndra's up. I know Kipo plays a really solid Syndra. Maybe they're just seeing if Empress can not only pilot the Victor, but if it can be played into kind of a pseudo counter matchup. The Syndra is a counter matchup, but Victor can still operate around the Syndra quite heavily. Peanut Butter ends up picking this Cassante top. So interesting pickup here, as we've seen their top laner ended up being on a couple of different style like carry fighter champions here. So this will be the first tank that we see in this series so far. But let's see what Peanut Butter, and Peanut Butter ends up noticing that the Kipo Victor is alive here. Let's see if Backdoor has a counter for it. Galio, I am not a fan of Galio, not at all. Like you're showing no engage on the side of Peanut Butter. And now you don't have to pick engage. You can just make Backdoor make the first move, and at that point they can't really do anything. Sivir scales just as well as Jinx. Victor scales as good as any other mid lane you're going to pick. And yeah, I feel like PBnJ already won this draft. The only thing I could think of is if this is baited into like some type of Galio top, and see what mid lane they want here, but I can't really think of a mid lane here that really helps this draft out. I mean, there's not very many mids that play stuff like Victor, Ziggs, Vel'Koz, so I think artillery mage wise, like Ziggs is really decent here. I think he turns the draft around a little bit because he has a good laning phase in the Victor, and he has a lot of good zone control into the PBnJ comp. Because you're forcing PBnJ to pick engage if you pick Ziggs right here to go into the Ziggs, but then you have the Galio here. But now you're starting to see an engage comp coming out from Backdoor, so you're starting to see the Galio Jarvan here. I do like the Jarvan paired with the Galio, and I think the Milio Jinx in the backline are really nice. But there needs to be another damage source here. So unless Backdoor has like a Kennen up their sleeve or something in that regard, I don't think they can do a lot to save this draft here. Where PBnJ ends up taking this Maokai, I don't like this Maokai. When you're showing engage here, I think an Enchanter with Sivir, you just play the Enchanter scaling handshake bot lane, and we'll see you at late game, because we have the better late game as well with Victor. So I think this Maokai could start some fights that it don't want to start and put his team in a really rough position here. And the Amumu, I mean, the Amumu is decent. So, I mean, it's a really safe pick. Excuse me. And I think it's really good counter engage after the Galio lands, but there's not enough utility-wise protecting this Victor and Sivir. So I'm curious. I mean, both of them are strong enough champions that maybe they don't need the protection. But, yeah. And then we see the counter pick Fiora coming out here into Cassante. I know Fiora's kind of been a known counter for Cassante, but it's also like so skill expressive that if you don't play it right, Cassante can still kind of run this lane over. I think the 1-2-3s for both sides, I would favor PBnJ, but this 4-5, like, I think Backdoor helped their draft. And Melio plus Fiora is like Fiora having an enchanter in their back pocket's not terrible either. But this Maokai Amumu, I'm not 100% sold on it. We'll have to see how this game ends up going out here. I mean, Nami was in play here. I think if you switch out Maokai for Nami, then I think Nami's pretty decent. Decent peel, decent, like, back the hell up into Galio Jarvan here. I think this could have been a solid Janna angle for PBnJ. And then their jungler could have been anything. I think the jungler just plays to the team comp that they have. So
Fear is the first of many foes.
I mean I'm okay with the Amumu pick overall. For the side of Backdoor, I just giving away Victor Sivir and not really having an answer to it. I'm curious if this ended up just becoming a champ pool diff coming out of Galio. I think Galio kind of works with Fiora, like on the split push. You can support her if she ends up getting 1v2'd at a point, but I don't know. I'm skeptical of Backdoor's draft here, but I really like what PB&J have here outside of the Maokai. I think the Maokai was a little baity, but we'll see. Give me another Kipo Cannon Masterclass. You know what? I mean, Kipo's been pretty good on this Victor. Oh, wait a sec. That's a Sivir lock in for mid here. Is Jello taking this Victor bot lane?
I'll beat it out of you.
Or did they just kind of pick out a turn? This would be interesting. This would be our first bot lane Victor. But we've seen Kipo play the Victor before. Like, he's a really, really solid Victor player. He played Victor before even the changes came out. Let's see if they switch here. I know you can still switch after champs are picked. I mean, Jello just got off of playing the Sivir, so I'm very, very curious here. So does this mean Kipo's gonna go bot lane with the Sivir and Jello go mid, or is this actually a bot lane Victor? I mean, looking at the matchup, Victor's okay into Jinx Milio. I mean, can't really poke out Jinx because Milio tanks a lot of the damage with shielding and healing. But Galio, to me, would have a nightmarish time in the Sivir. She just ends up spell shielding the E and running away. So, I don't know. This will be interesting to see here. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know this. I don't know these two teams that well. These are two brand new teams to the split, though. They a couple of their members have played in the split before a while ago. So kind of curious to get into this load up and see how this ends up going. little pause there at the beginning here, but yeah. So loading in, we see a potential. Well, wouldn't be a roll or a lane swap. It looks like Kipo's gonna take this Sivir mid here. I see the TP. So be curious to see how this ends up going. This will be our first bot lane victor of the split.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
We see the invade kind of get discovered here by Aroseps. But let's see if they want to delay invade through this river brush.
Heads up.
Minions have spawned.
And we kind of answered our questions here. Kepo is taking the Sivir mid, so press the attack Sivir into Galio. I really do like this adaptation here. You know, ADCs do really well into Galio. And Victor bot lane. I mean, it's such a non-volatile bot lane that you know, Victor makes sense. Here's some feedback. I mean, we've seen mages bot before. I know I've played against Coinflip week 1. They prioritized the Lux bot. I think we've seen Scorch play the Lux bot, and there's been some Swain bots, but this is the first time we've seen Victor bot here. So it's kind of interesting. See how this ends up going. I do like them noticing that Victor doesn't have access to the most amount of wave clear, so they end up pushing this Victor in, getting a level 2 here. I think the question I have, well, hold on, I'll save that because it looks like we got a river fight going on here. Big flash, twisted advance coming out, and that's a first blood going over to the Maokai here. And we see Jinx trying to do her best to chop down this Amumu, but was unsuccessful here. And that's 2 kills going over to the side of PBnJ, and a double kill going over to Victor here. As that ends up being a 3 for none and a double kill going over the Victor. All sums burnt by the bot laners of Backdoor. Yes, this is game 3, Jay. Game 3, as Backdoor end up winning game 1, and PBnJ had a statement win in game 2 here. So turns out this Victor bot ends up doing quite well here. See, my question is on this Victor bot, is it going to be easier to gank the Sivir? But it looks like the Sivir's wave clear is just so fast that she can 2-tap the wave and then run back to a very close turret here. But we see Darkhound. Oh my, what a stun for Aroseps. He stuns Darkhound, didn't even know Darkhound was there. and flashes away from this. The Aricep's playing this Fiora quite well here. I mean, you got a 5-minute lost chapter on this Victor. This is absolute insane. See how close Victor is. Oh, he's already upgraded his E here, which is massive here to keep himself out from under the turret here. Yeah. Yeah, E upgraded 5 minutes, lost chapter 5 minutes. Even though he just hit level 5 here. Is pretty insane. I'm kind of curious to see what Empress builds here, because I think because it's Victor bot, I actually think you can get away with something like Riftmaker first. You know, prioritize a little bit of damage. Nice escape here by a CYX. But PBnJ looking at this first dragon here. But we see the rest of the Backdoor Bandits team coming out here. We see Galio coming in, getting a big 3-man taunt. And here's a possible get excited for Jinx as she gets the shutdown on the Victor here and gets the second kill onto this Maokai here. And now she's definitely super excited to get into the rest of the fight here. So that's a double kill plus a shutdown going over to Jinx. Which, while this Victor was ahead massively, now this Jinx has got some gold in her pocket now. And actually, let's look at... Yeah, this Jinx is now only 100 gold behind this Victor. So, for the most part, both bot lane carries are in prime position to make a really, really big impact on this game. So, with that being said, though, Backdoor Bandits takes this Chemtech Drake, which I think benefits them quite well, having the Enchanter support and a lot of healing and shielding in their kits, primarily. But Darkhound uses this chance to get the Void Grubs over here. So taking the 3 Void Grubs away from Fiora is a very good response. Aricep's playing this lane quite well here, not losing too much tempo or pressure, but Prey is doing quite well on this Cassante to not fall behind or try to take any unfavorable trades. So, looks like a fairly quiet early game for the most part. See, top lane's got a touch of a CS gap, but we should see that start to shorten up with the wave at the turret. No, yeah, it's just a little bit of CS gap. But mid has also got a pretty big CS gap. I do like the sword shoes coming out from Emperorish. I honestly think he just goes like Proto Belt and damage at this point. Like, you got to do what you can to deliver onto Victor Sivir and do as much damage and take them out as quickly as you can. So I don't think there's a world where you're ever going to out frontline Cassante and Mumu with Jarvan Galio. So I think you just pivot the damage here. This Victor poke is insane now. It looks like they're setting up a potential dive. No, he takes the blast cone out. So Emperorish was kind of looking bot lane here for a quick second. Maybe he was thinking there was a gank coming. Which a Mumu was in the area, so. And then they spotted out SCYX in this top lane here. We see Darkhound ends up covering here, but misses the bandage tossed here. But the ult ends up locking out Emperorish as he didn't want to burn ult for that. And now we see them turning this gank back around to the point where SCYX had to flash away here. So lack of coordination coming out of the Backdoor Bandits team in that gank setup here. But we see the Galio ult get saved here as these Void Grubs are coming up here in the next 30 seconds. So we'll see what happens here. I feel like Victor having Blackfire Torch, he probably could have just went, they could have done the lane swap here, where Victor went mid, or TP mid, and Keppo could have went bot side and wave cleared against Jinx here. And kind of standardize the lanes a little bit here. You've got Victor ahead. And I think he can push back Galio quite easily, so. Big damage coming out of Emperor's Galio here. We see them jumping on the Aroseps. As Galio ult comes down, it ends up hitting 3 of them here. Jinx ult makes a massive explosion there, but they can't capitalize on any of these kills, and that's a double kill coming out for the side of Cassante here, and 3 total fall for the side of Backdoor Bandits. So PBnJ doing their best to turn this series around and potentially the season here, as this is going to make the Group B playoff race so like hard to figure out. I hate the auto animation on this Jinx skin. It looks like a shotgun. Looks like Graves' shotgun. So here we are with about a minute left of plates. 6-2 in favor of PBnJ. Though Backdoor Bandits have the first streak, PBnJ have 6 Void Scrubs. But we see a flash coming out here as they're going on Navis. And she did just enough to get a kill back onto Maokai here. So well played by her. But we see them now jumping on the Darkhound here, trying to blow him up. But Victor's here, and the Victor ult kind of comes down and does a boatload of damage along with Sivir onto this Jarvan. And now we see Emperorish having to flash out of this. So Victor ends up picking off another kill here onto Jarvan. And he's now 3-1. Let me see where he's at with the upgrades here. Yeah, it looks like he's got 3 out of 4 upgrades. Yeah, so he's just waiting to upgrade the ult here. So 14-minute mark, 3 full upgrades. It's kind of insane. Nice four proc coming out there. And we see the Cassante tried to ult, but she ended up losing vision there, that brush. So well played by Aroseps. Don't know if he wanted to weave in and out of that brush, but it turned out to be very successful. But we see Kipo on this bot side turret get this tier 1. And then we also see Backdoor Bandits using this to tempo to get the Rift Herald as well. So overall, PBnJ up now about 4,000 gold, but they can they definitely can't sit back and chill yet. You know, Sivir being on 2 items is actually pretty massive. Sivir CSing is actually pretty good too. Almost 10 a minute, just a little shy of it. And SCYX was seen out on a ward again, so he's trying to put a lot of pressure onto this Cassante, see if he can get his win condition of this Fiora ahead. Big trade coming out by Fiora here. We see a TP coming in from Empress to the turret here, and he ends up ulting to help Fiora out. Fiora ends up ulting this Maokai, and they end up turning this on the Chengwu. But a big Cassante ult to take Fiora out of this fight here. Kicks him over the wall and takes him out here. We see Jello end up trying to all in this Milio here. But here comes Darkhound here, so PBnJ making plays on this top side of the map here. Response to Backdoor Bandits TP. And that ends up being what two for 1 in favor of PBnJ. So, but they also have 6 Void Grubs, so they're going to take both the tier 1 and tier 2 top turrets. Interesting choice for an engage here, but maybe trying to stall and let Jello show up, but they can't exactly ignore this Rift Herald. We see the Sunfire Cape coming out of Empress here, so the fact that this is not Hollow Radiant. Yeah, it would be Hollow Radiant. Oh my lord, this Victor's damage. But the fact that it's not MR Hollow Radiance first here, I think that means Empress is going to have a really hard time pushing back this Victor in the side lane. So we're going to see how that ends up developing as the game goes on. But even if he buys armor, this Sivir can pick and choose whenever she wants to fight into this Galio. So we see Ariceps looks like he's getting he was poised position to get jumped on here, but ends up escaping. We see Cassante TPing over here for the side of PBnJ, but here comes Galio coming in here, and he doesn't have the biggest heroic entrance, but big ult coming out by SCYX to kind of funnel them in here. Might have would have seen the Galio ult followed up with that, but big pick coming out as Darkhound flashes forward to get Galio here. Cassante ends up pelting him. Pelts Milio over the wall here. And Ariceps does a really good job taking out Maokai here. So Ariceps being the only one alive. Sorry, Nevis is alive as well. And this ends up being a 4-for-1 in favor of PBnJ as they're starting to open up their gold lead quite a bit and open up the map here. Moo Moo with the one of the slowest Drakes you're ever going to see. And the fact that this is now Earth Drakes going over to Cassante, and then, you know, a Moo Moo eventually later going to get tanky. This is going to make it really, really hard for this Jinx to plow through this front line here. She's really the only source of damage coming out here. Ariceps can join team fights, but I think it's going to be locked down and taken down pretty quickly. So
A summoner has disconnected.
we see a little bit of a pause coming out as Victor's having a visual bug. It's rare that you see that happen, but it does. I'm going to use a second to give myself something to drink.
A summoner has reconnected.
And we are back. As any pause would happen in the spectator, you just see it pause to get ahead of itself a little bit. And we're back. So let's take stock of where we're at here at the 21-minute mark. 14 kills to 6 here in favor of PBnJ. They're up just a little under 7,000 gold lead, and they have 2 of the 3 dragons off the map here, along with the 6 void grubs from the early game. So Sivir on 3 items here is pretty massive. You have 2 items completed by Cassante. Victor now on double burn items as well. And then for the side of Backdoor Bandits, you just see Jinx is the only one hasn't really fallen behind the pace on 2 items. So, be interesting to see how this game goes. I don't know if Backdoor Bandits has enough in their comp to stall out for this Jinx. You're basically asking Jinx to outdamage both Sivir and Victor here. So, I'll be curious to see how they play this one out. This Fiora is not having a good time into this Cassante here. I think there was a chance Cassante could have flashed forward and ulted, taken out. You see an ult combo coming out here onto Milio to try and push them away from this Baron. So. Well, hello, Galio. Galio ends up getting taken out as he face-checked 3 members of PBnJ. You see SCYX going forward to try and stall some time, but Jinx could not get in threatening range enough for that. And that's 2 falling for the side of Backdoor Bandits for none for PBnJ, so I think they're going to look for this opportunity to go after the Baron here. And Baron is absolutely insane for this team comp, as similar to last game, you see the Backdoor Bandits have not drafted really much wave clear at all. So when this Cassante gets in the side lane, he's going to be able to push in Fiora. You see the Sivir's going to absolutely massacre these lanes now, especially with Static Shiv. So we look for a lot of these outer turrets and even base turrets to start to fall here in favor of PB&J after this Baron. Ooh, nice hook over here from Darkhound. He's trying to 1v1 SCYX here. Well played by SCYX to get out. First, the mid tier 2 fell. Now the bot tier 2 falls with this Baron push here. So let's double check. I don't think they have Baron for too much longer. No, it's about 30% left. But we're going to end up taking this dragon as well here. So we see a pick coming out here from Darkhound, forcing Emperor to flash away here on this bot lane push. God, look at the Sivir damage coming in on this Galio now. See 3 items coming out, 3 armor items coming out for Cassante, so this Fiora is not going to do anything to her. Neither will this Jinx. Cool. We see them trying to make a move onto this Cassante. This is a big tanky boy here. I don't know how this is going to work out. You see Emperorish TPing in here and jumping in so far, catching 3 of them. You see Jarvan coming in and ulting the front line here. Jinx ends up getting his side of here, but the Victor ult's expanded already after the 2 kills onto Backdoor Bandits here. And there's a triple kill coming out for the side of PBnJ. Keppo looking great on the Sivir mid here. I really like this flex pick that these guys ended up having. And that's an ace. And a potential end angle coming out here for the side of PBnJ. All of this trying to pick off Cassante, and Cassante barely got below half health there in the initial. Nice jungle of the aggro here so the minions didn't fall. And that's going to be a 2-1 series win in favor of PBnJ as they now make this group B absolutely insane here. So, wow, what an insane comeback, especially after the first game. And it looks like we might get an interview here. See who from PBnJ wants to get the interview. Let me switch over to the client here and just kind of showcase this last game.
Hello.
Hey, what's
up?
How you guys doing after that victory?
Doing great. After some tough losses, that first game was a little rough, but we brought it back.
Yeah, that first game was something. Go ahead and introduce yourselves for the streams here.
Hi, I'm Darkhound. I'm the jungler for PBnJ.
And then I'm Kipo, mid laner for PBnJ.
Okay, so good news is I've been pronouncing Kipo, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. So, man, what a series! Because, like you said, after that first game, that game got a little rough there. Just to talk about it a little bit, you might have heard me be just maybe a touch harsh on the stream, but I gotta ask, what was with this Vex pick? Because I felt like that was kind of the linchpin in your guys' draft that didn't really come out to be too effective.
All it was, he picked Garen mid, so there's nothing else I could do because he's just gonna keep shoving the wave. So I don't there's no mage that can outshove Garen. I'm pretty sure.
There's a few.
So yeah, maybe, but
none that you play.
Yeah. I don't know much what other mages can outshove Garen, but I was thinking of playing Vayne mid.
Vayne?
Just counter. Yeah.
Okay. That would have been something.
Yeah, of course.
So.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, I respect it. If you gotta play comfort, play comfort. But you guys did your own little cooking that we'll get to here. Not to focus up too much on that game one, but it looked like you guys responded really, really well in that game too. We seen Darkhound pull out the first volley bear of the season, which was really, really nice. But tell me, did you really think this Vive was gonna go mid?
Yeah. So after doing some scouting, and their bans, and they started picking on the second half, I realized that he does play Vi. The mid player plays Vi, but he plays in the jungle. but sometimes people like cooking up some spicy stuff, so I kind of guessed that I was gonna go mid.
I think bro overcooked though.
Um, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I know Vi mid can be annoying for some mages. I've played against like OTPs that play it, but I felt like one of the mages that actually invites it to be played is Ari, and you had some really nice charms. That level 1 where you started charm level 1 and made the Twitch flash, and then Darkhound was down there immediately at level 3. That's pretty ballsy shot calling there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I was clearing the camps, and then my bot lane called for it. So I was like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna go for it, and it turned out really well for us.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, it made taking that charm level 1 probably feel much better there.
No, yeah,
So,
no, yeah.
and then
That was
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, no. Yeah, that charm with level one was good because it forced out a flash. But like, I don't think Vi can outshove. Like, Vi can't really outshove me. Except like if he was on Garen, like Garen. So like it was fine. Like that matchup was fine for me in
Yeah,
the mid lane.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. I've seen like longsword refill, E start, like take an early point into E, so you have two charges, and you can kind of poke with the E shockwave and get a little bit of a push going. But like I said, Ari just is one of those ones that really doesn't care about Vi, and she's just far enough away that
Mhm.
that E poke level 1 doesn't really reach her that well. And even if it does, her passive allows her to regen some health.
Mhm.
So, but this game 3 here, I was sold that this was Victor mid. What like Victor does well into Galio, so I was curious the whole theory behind this lane swap, or not really. It wasn't a role swap or lane swap. It was just Victor bought Sivir mid.
Yeah. So I thought it was easier for me. I thought it was just gonna be easier for me to just shove into my lane out and have Galio like limit Galio's ulti because I think I have a in my opinion I think it would be easier for me to just spam W on the wave and then he can't roam really if I just keep shoving my wave in right. So Victor level like Victor like he needs items in order to like kind of shove it out faster. Like he needs evolve E to like even one shot the way back like the minions in the backline. So I thought it was gonna be easier just to shove it out with Sivir mid.
Hmm. Yeah, and then I mean, you guys had a big. It was either a gank bot or a big 3v3 bot where Jello got a double kill, evolved, and lost chapter all like level 4, which was absolutely insane start on Victor.
Yeah, that was a really big fight for us at the bot, and yeah, it just turned out really well for us.
Ah, yeah. All in all, it was quite impressive. I think Backdoor Bandits, yeah, overcooked just a touch in the draft, if I may say. I mean, I thought the Fiora had potential there, but when you guys took Grubs away, it kind of neutralized that a little bit. So, but all in all,
Yeah,
really really solid series by you guys, man. That was impressive.
Thank you,
thank
thank
you,
you.
thank you.
And then, what do you think now that you absolutely not only shit on the power rankings that are out there now, but now you turn this Group B upside down with the
Oh
standings
yeah.
here.
What was Backdoor Bandits, if you don't mind me asking?
They were for what, the power rankings?
Yeah.
You're gonna make me spoil this now. Okay. Let me
Oh no,
pull.
what was last week? Last week's.
I don't have last week's. I'll just go ahead. We'll talk about it. If you've watched it, you've watched it. But let me see power rankings. So Backdoor Bandits was power rankings third place here, being 3-0 in Group B.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
good win for us.
that is a very very impressive win.
Yeah,
And
very
honestly,
good.
like
Um,
it was starting to look like, I don't want to say it was starting to, but at this point it was really hard. You guys had competitive series against Small Brains and against Sad Jellyfish, but you just never you didn't get the game threes off of them. So you needed to really beat somebody above you guys, and you ended up beating the biggest fish in the pond for Group B now.
Oh yeah, take another look at it. Group B's pretty competitive, pretty tough group.
Hey, we thought Group C was the group of death after week one, but you guys, especially with your performances against Sad Jellyfish, was an eye opener because Sad Jellyfish is no joke. They are a very talented legacy team. They've won
Oh
this
yeah,
league several times. They've been in the finalists. Salt is the MVP. I know you've laned against Salt now. He's a tough person to lane against. But your guys' performance against Sad Jellyfish was actually very impressive. Um,
thank
Thank you.
you.
but yeah, no, this was a really impressive win and a really good notch for you guys here. Now that you're 2-2, we'll have to see what the rest of the Group B does over this holiday break. But yeah, I had this. This is one of my matchups I wanted to watch for this week 4. So,
Thank you.
but very impressive, guys. I've seen all of the improvement you guys have had. Even when we guys, I think we had the pleasure of scrimming you guys. What was it, like week 2? I think.
It was. I think it was like in between. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was in
So,
between week two
uh,
and three.
yeah, we do appreciate the scrim opportunity, and you guys were tough, man. So keep a freaking flatten me in one of those lanes. So, but
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for always like casting for us.
Oh no, I appreciate it. Yeah, we try to get all of these teams showcased here, and it's a lot of work, but we end up making it happen. We actually just recorded the week 3 of the Midwest Weekly podcast before we even casted this, so I've been at this for about 5 or 6 hours now.
Oh,
But like
Oh
I said,
man,
man, I try to be a man of the people, try to get you guys casted, especially the new teams. I really like and enjoy watching you guys, getting to know you as players, and seeing just some of the cooking that you guys do.
yep. Thanks, we appreciate it.
So yeah, all in all, congrats on the win, congrats on flipping Group B, and I'll probably see you guys on the PBE since your next match is going to be on the new season patch.
oh,
Oh
is it?
boy.
Okay. Sounds
Oh,
good.
boy,
All right, we're gonna start working on that one.
Thank you.
yeah, did I just remind you guys of that?
Yeah, I forgot it's already the new year.
Yeah. Next Wednesday,
Yeah.
the new season patch drops. So we'll see if some of the week 4 games get played on this patch or the new season patch. There was not much we could do to mitigate that.
Yeah.
Um, especially like I think my match is going to be played after January 1st because of holiday travels and everything. But like I said, I ain't going to keep you guys too long. A very impressive performance after that game 1. It just didn't look like you could do much there, but it was an impressive comeback there. So, all in all, appreciate you guys coming out, playing, having an interview here. Have a great holidays. Hope your guys' travels are safe, and whoever owes you RP can pay it up for you.
Thank you so much. You
Thank
have a
you.
great holiday too.
All right,
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Have a good one.
All right, guys, and that was the mid and the jungle for PB&J taking off a series from Backdoor Bandits and making this group B very interesting. So, um, yeah, this happens, and we'll see now what the rest of these teams in Group B do in response to that. As the other big matchup for Group B we have in Week 4 is Load the Cannons versus Sad Jellyfish. But this was the only matchup that was scheduled for this week so far. We'll see what some of these other teams end up having. And, yeah. Hopefully everybody has a great holiday travel and gets all of their grinding in to get to the elo they want to get. And if I don't see you before then, have a very Merry Christmas. Peace.